James, are you ready?
I am ready.
Awesome. This is it. We're about to kick off the very first My Nerd Swag .tv. It's our podcast, everything collectible, everything comics, everything stories. We love it all. When it comes to comic books and all the nerdiness that comes along with it, we're all about it. So this is going to be all about doing that. I am the nerd pastor, Terry Cuthbertson, and my esteemed colleague,
James Hostler, creator of the Bobcat.
Absolutely. One of the best independent comic books in Oklahoma.
Woo!
And in the world, if I say so. I love it a lot. So,
well, thank you.
Yeah. So to start things out, we just want to talk real quick. This is what we're planning on doing. We want to talk all things comic books. We want to get into the deeper stories. We want to share the things we love about collecting comic books. We want to talk about great independent comic books that maybe are being overlooked by the overlords of comics. God Corp, as Destroyer Duck would say. And we want to also take time to look back into old storylines that we love in the classic comics that we collect personally. So, today what we want to do is we're going to talk about the top 7 cameos. Top 7 cameos inside of comic books. Now, what are we qualifying as a cameo?
Cameo is either a brief appearance in the book or the actual storyline for that particular issue is centered around the celebrity, musician, historic figure for that time. Yeah.
And so in these comic books, a cameo can be, the ones I think we're really looking at are, we believe these ones were the artist or the historical figure or the cameo person, the actual real person who was in it wanted to be a part of the comic book. Isn't that fair to say? Because
yes, for the most part, yes.
Yeah, presidents have made themselves inside of comic books, but they were just they're referenced because of where they're at, right? So,
right.
So that's what we're looking at on that. So, I was going to show. Now, what about something like this? Does this count as a cameo, or are we saying this is a full-length story, right?
That's a full-length story.
Yeah, that's what I'm agreeing.
Alice Cooper. He just, yeah.
This is an epic
Marvel
comic, by the way.
premiere.
I only asked the question just to show up my comic book. I love this one so much. I just picked this up a couple weeks ago, so I've been looking for this one a while. So
yeah, it's awesome.
Funny.
I was there when you found that book.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
It was in such great shape, so I had to pick it up. In fact, he was actually going through a box that he had just gotten in. And he goes, "Hey, I got Alice Cooper 1." I was like, "I want it." He's like, "Well, let me tell you what it is." No, I want it. So
it's 900.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to work something out. So no, so it's exciting. So what we're looking at right now is top 7 in our opinions. There's no reason behind this. It's just what we like, and then we also put them in order. So I don't even know if it's a top list. We're going to give you 7 awesome cameos in historical order of how they appear in the comic books today. Right, James?
Right, historical order chronologically. And I think we got this correct as far as the first one that we're really aware of significance with someone from, modern pop culture.
Yes.
Which was Superman. And I've got my glasses on so I can read my notes here. Superman number 62, which was back in 1950. Remember I said earlier I thought it was like late 40s?
Yeah.
1950. Real close.
Well, I had in my head that it was an action comic, Superman and action comics are often the same. Superman mostly is action comics.
Right. Action was first, so
yes.
The numbers were higher on action before Superman got his own book.
Yeah,
right.
So when I was hearing episode 56 or number 56, I was like, well, and then Superman explained everything. So go ahead, yes.
Right. Yeah. Well, this is, of course, it's Orson Welles, who was very famous initially for the War of the Worlds radio broadcast that people thought was actually real, and people really actually panicked and freaked out because it was so masterfully done. And it was like one of those original radio broadcasts that had so many special effects. They were all analog, but they were all special effects. And so people were it just sounded as real as it could be. And they weren't used to that, And so they're like, this is the real thing. And it sounds completely believable. So Anyway,
in the comic book itself,
he went on to make
because he's actually got a in the comic book on the issue itself. He's actually holding the radio receiver as though he is doing that War of the Worlds.
Yes, it says the Martians are coming. The story, the plot here for this one is he is, of course, this is all completely fiction, so they can write all this in. Orson Welles is accidentally trapped on a rocket that has a secret mission to Mars. And then he finds out that these Martian Nazis, of all things, Martian Nazis are going to invade and take over. And the only person that believes him is Superman.
Listen,
because
it wasn't enough that they were Martians. It wasn't enough. They have to be Nazi Martians. Yes.
Nazi Martians.
Oh,
yes.
That's hilarious. Okay.
And so anyway, so then they team up because Superman believes him, and they fight these guys, and which is I think that was an interesting story.
That's clever.
I think the Nazi part was a little over the top, but maybe that made it great because it was that far over the top.
It was in that time, though. It was in that time, right? I mean, Nazis, like fighting Nazis in these comics, that's going to be a common.
Yeah.
So,
it was 1950. They were still tracking down Nazis that got away.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Most of them went to Mars, obviously. So. All right. Well, the second one, is there something else you wanted to add to that?
No, I love it, man. Oh, that one's great. Cool. Let me show you the comic book cover one more time. I love these Nazi Martians. I mean, I don't love them, obviously, because Nazis are bad, okay? But look at their faces, man. These are some of the goofiest looking, Nazi Martians that they could have made. It's hilarious. So
they're kind of. I think they're hidden behind our image right now, but maybe if someone else can see them. I don't know. I can't. On mine, it looks like we're blocking it.
Okay.
Yeah. But you're right. They're goofy looking.
They're goofy looking. Funny. We'll make sure we'll zoom in. We'll zoom in when I put it up in post. So, all right. So number 2, my friend.
Number 2 from 1965.
Oh wait. Hold on. Okay. This one I had no idea about. Like I was, because when we were talking about Rockstar cameos and stuff, I had no idea about this one. So when you sent me this one, I was like, how is this a thing? Okay, go ahead. Sorry. I'm ready now. I just have to tell you how excited I am about this one. This is on my list of ones I want to own now.
Okay, because when I was in high school, I knew every song by these guys. I could sing every song by these guys. I kid you not. Ask anyone that's known me for 40 years or whatever. So anyway, these guys, and I'm kind of building it up a little bit, keeping you in suspense. They became a phenomenon in the United States after they landed at Kennedy Airport, February the 7th, 1964, which was 2 days after Moi was born.
Oh.
So that's why I knew that date, because it was like 2 days afterward. So anyway, this book here, The Strange Tales, was done in 1965, 1 year later, while the Beatlemania was rampant. And so we're kind of blocking the thing out again, but it's the Beatles. And they have a cameo in this. I haven't read the whole story, but I don't think it's completely centered around the Beatles per se. I think they kind of pop in and out, maybe.
Okay.
Let's see. Let me read this here. Well,
while you're reading that, let me tell you this. My favorite part about this cover is that it looks like the Human Torch and the Thing both have that classic Beatles.
The Beatle wig.
Bob cut. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even understand. Like, I want to read this one and understand why it was necessary. Now, is this one of those things where the cover is just to get you to read it, and then they don't actually give you the payoff of the Thing and the Torch dressed as the Beatles with the haircut?
I haven't read the whole thing, but I saw some of the pages that were featured when I was researching this. And of course the Beatles show up. Yeah. But it's like I think it's more of like a flash in the pan thing, and then they're gone. But the Beatle wig thing, maybe that has a play in it. Let me read this here and see what it says. Ben Grimm, the Thing, and Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, they have another one of their fights, it says, and they have to clean up Reed's lab as a result. And they take their girlfriends on a double date to see the Beatles. And the girls get to meet the rock stars in person, get autographs, but they wind up having to go, Ben and Johnny go after some crooks that rob the box office of all the receipts for the tickets.
Of course,
and then all this stuff ensues, lots of action and fun and everything else.
That's hilarious.
That's kind of like there are other stories in there.
I love it, man. I can't wait to show you. I just the cover is incredible. So yeah, plus it's a Doctor Strange story that goes along with it all, kind of intermixed.
Yes.
And so it's such a great story, such a fun cover. It cracks me up. The Human Torch and the Thing with the Beatles haircuts. Way to go. Who did the cover on that one? Is that a Kirby?
Let me see.
Is that correct?
Probably. Yeah, it's Kirby. Yeah, this was 65.
Classic.
Kirby did
pretty
much all of them except for like Steve Ditko and a couple of the guys from Spider-Man's early days, that kind of stuff. But it was pretty much Kirby.
Okay.
And a guy named Chick Stone did the inks, and I guess I've heard his name, but he's not one of those guys that you hear about all the time that work with Kirby and Stan completely. Let me hold this up and see if you can see this. That's a little blip from some pages, and then you can see the Beatles. Yeah. And you can see Ben Grimm with the wig on, So that was something I had here in my notes.
He's just doing his best to blend in. Give him his dues. He's just trying to blend in. Poor guy.
Exactly. Of course, the Beatles all have the darker hair, dark brown, whatever, and then Johnny Storm was blonde, which is funny.
Hilarious.
So anyway, so I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'd like to. This is actually a book. Now that we started focusing on this particular thing, the cameos, etc. I'm going to try to get this book because I don't have it.
No, so that's definitely what I'm going to be looking for also now. So we'll go on the search. We'll see who gets it first. It'll be
okay.
It'll be a race.
And for the best price. We're going to have a war here.
Yes, listen, it's all about that.
That's right. Maybe it's on an auction somewhere, and we can get it for $10 or something.
That's great. Yeah, a great one. All right. Okay, I've got to tell you, this next one, I'm sure he agreed to this, but I can't help but wonder if he saw some of this and goes, this is the best pictures they've ever drawn of me, but probably was used to getting that caricature of him always drawn, right?
Right. And this has a unique, besides the fact of the person who is a comedian, very famous, especially at that time, besides the fact that this is interwoven together, there is a little team up on the cover for this that I'm not saying never happened, but it didn't happen all the time. It was more rare.
Yes.
And the team up is Jack Kirby drew it, but Neil Adams inked it. He colored it.
Wow. That
Yeah. So I just, those are my two dudes right there.
All right, let's try the reveal on this. You ready?
Here's the reveal. Yes.
Here we go.
This guy used to open for the Rat Pack here and there.
Yeah.
Don Rickles. Yeah. Both of those books, especially the one on the left, that whatever it says, Kirby's Fourth World.
Yeah.
What book? I'm trying to read that. 139, I think it is. Yeah. There was I think it was a barber that we used to go to, and he'd have stacks of old magazines and comics. And I looked at this book over and over again because he had this it was all worn and everything. Yeah. And he had it in his stack of comics to read. And so I was enthralled by the fact because I knew who Don Rickles was.
Yeah.
And I was a kid, but still yet. And so it was I just remember holding that book and looking through it and going, it was interesting. They had actual photos of him on there and then worked it into the book. And it was just a novelty for me.
Yeah.
And so I have that great memory of reading these books when they were out, initially.
Yeah.
So
such a great cover, such a fun way of doing this, and the characters of him is great. I love him as this purple and green superhero, the two Rickles. It's so funny. What a great comic, man.
Here's another liner note, which those covers that both had Don Rickles on there. They had him on there. Jack Kirby, he did all these pencils and did these other things, but he didn't draw Superman's face or Jimmy Olsen's face the way DC wanted him to.
Wow.
So there's a guy named Murphy Anderson, and he did just the heads of Superman and Jimmy Olsen. And Jack Kirby did the pencils for all the rest.
Wow.
Because I've got the Forever People, from back around that time, very early 70s. And Superman makes an appearance. I think it's in #1. And I've had that since back in the day. You can tell by looking at it that Kirby did the body and everything, but the face is different. Wow. And they had someone else draw it because they didn't like Jack Kirby's version of Superman. Face, head.
Yeah. All right, next one. Here we go.
All right, let's see. Now, this next one is your book, right? 1977. The cameo of the superstar rock band.
Yeah. Hold on, let me get this ready. I gotta pull it up here real quick.
Yeah.
Yes, actually, I could just show you. Now, the problem I have is I don't have this exact one. I have the one that came after.
Oh, okay.
But it has them in it, so it's probably the second appearance of them in it. But let's go. Let me just show you the picture of them first, and then I'll show you the comic book it's from. How about that? All right, here we go. Trying to do this live. Yeah, baby.
There they are.
There we go. So the comic that this is found in, this is the first appearance of Kiss, and it's in a strange comic book. It's actually in Howard the Duck, #12, very first appearance of Kiss. And it's actually 12 and 13 have Kiss appearances in them, and it just kind of led to some other really fun stuff. My favorite thing about this is what it really did was it built a partnership with Gene Simmons and
Stan
Lee.
Yeah.
And come to find out, sorry, I'm trying to find that comic. Where is it at? Do you see Howard the Duck?
I'd see Howard the Duck #12. You got the top of it showing.
Okay, there we go.
It's like cut off. There it is.
Okay.
There it is.
So Howard the Duck #12 and 13 has the premiere of Kiss. Howard the Duck's always a very strange comic book in itself. Very fourth wall breaking, and just kind of that he doesn't have any superheroes. He's just a duck in the wrong dimension who's annoyed by human life, basically. And so it's just a great comic book. So yeah, I picked up the other day number 13 and was really stoked to find this. I bought it off of Deadlift Collectibles, and apparently he bought it off another comic book store that had just kept it in pristine condition. So it's unbelievable what I found. But my favorite part about this is Gene Simmons and Stan Lee are in this great friendship all of a sudden, just for a temporary moment, to go and produce Marvel Spectacular Special Kiss, right? Comic book?
Yes.
And Gene Simmons is one of those comic book nerds. He knows the exact panel, and he's asking Stan Lee all these questions about, like, why was that guy doing that in this panel? And it just really kind of blew Stan Lee away that this, painted face rock star guy, known as the Demon, right, it knows all of this. So it ends up that the entire band and Stan Lee end up in a limo shutting traffic down in a major city to get to the printers of the comic book that's about to come out, of the new Kiss comic book that's coming out, so that all four members can prick their hand and bleed into the ink, so that every one of the first comic books that came out by Kiss has, like a micro ounce of Kiss blood in it. What a weird thing, right?
DNA. Yeah. That's really, that was a cool idea. Of course, that was such a Kiss thing to do.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Blood in there.
Fit in with them. So, all right, last one.
That was a great book. Last one I've got is from 1978. And do you have the cover for that one? I think I sent it to you.
Yeah.
Or at least some of the art from it. And it's Marvel Team Up. And there we go. Okay.
I love Marvel Team Ups. But
Spider-Man and the Not Ready for Primetime Players, which is the original cast of Saturday Night Live.
From
this was done in,
Saturday Night Live.
Yes, Saturday night. And you see John Belushi right there in the center on the front, Samurai Cleaners, Samurai Delicatessen, all those samurai skits that he did.
Yeah.
And so that makes it extra special and extra cool. 78, the original cast was all still there. I think they started to slowly replace them with new people for the first time, like around 81, 80, something like that.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah. And this is one that I didn't know existed for a long time, and then I found it.
Yeah,
and this is another I'm going to try to get because, I just think it's cool.
On the cover page, you got Dan Aykroyd, John Belushi, you got Jane Curtin, and
Garrett Morris.
Bill Murray's on there. You've got Gilda right here. Isn't that Gilda?
Is that Gilda? I can't you know what? Tell. I'm not sure. Let me see what it says here.
And then apparently they also threw in Lauren Michaels and Stan Lee as themselves. So what a fun, crazy idea for a team up. Yeah,
absolutely.
I think at least the Marvel ones, the Rockstar ones, and this one, they're so fun and they're probably in a decent price range that if I can run into those, I'm definitely picking those up. So
yeah, just to have them. Right.
The first two probably out of my price range. I don't know.
Yeah,
we'll keep looking. If you find a copy,
maybe a 2.0 or a 1.5 or something. Yeah, the Superman.
Yeah, it'll have half its cover, but if it's the right price.
That's right. Absolutely.
All right, man. So that's awesome. For a bonus one, they did you know that the Avengers ended up on David Letterman?
Yes, I did know that. I didn't have anything on it for this.
Yeah.
But yes.
So and the reason it's kind of a big deal is it was kind of them getting ready to move some of their characters over to East Coast Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
So the announcement on David Letterman is that let me share this real quick. Is that they're going to be moving people over. So I love it. Just beware of it's Assistant Editors Month. And then it's hilarious. What a fun thing too. Actually, this one right now is on my comic book shop. They've got a copy for about $3.50, and then they got the what's that Mark Jewell version?
Yeah.
Like $6 or $8 or something. So
yeah,
definitely worth picking.
Well, that's a good price. Yeah, and it's probably like a very VG, very good condition or something.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So, no, it's not in the perfect quality, but if you want to own it, it's definitely a way of getting a hold of that one. So you gotta love that. So so that's fun. Well, I think cameos are awesome, and so we're gonna wrap up with that. I think cameos are awesome, and I think anyone that's willing to add cameos is adding an interesting experience, because what they're doing is they're taking something that we know is real and they're putting it into these worlds to integrate it to make us in hindsight, what it does for us is it makes things so nostalgic, because you get to go back to that time when David Letterman's doing his cheesy stuff, or that epic, like one of the epic times for, Saturday Night Live. It's so nostalgic. But in the moment they're doing it, there's also that kind of cool connection of like, these are people that we consider heroes in their own light. So I
absolutely,
just love that, man. What a great list.
Yeah, and to segue into this, to finish this entire thing out.
Yeah.
Some of my favorite cameos of all time.
Yeah. I know comic creator who's thrown in some cameos.
Yeah, right here, the Bobcat. This is the trade paperback, which encompasses or collects issues 1, 2, and 3. And issue 3, that is the third chapter in this particular book, has a cameo by none other than Frank James, Jesse James' brother, who actually lived in Oklahoma for a period of time.
Yeah,
back in the day. So that's in here. And my second cameo. Well, you know what? I don't have the number 4. That's actually the number 3 cover. Anyway, do you have number 4 there by chance?
No,
I thought I had it. I've got number 3 in front of me.
No, it's in the long box.
Okay. Anyway, all that being said, number 4, which is the first chapter for our next trade paperback, we have a cameo by none other than Jim Thorpe himself, who, of course, is from Indian Territory. He was here at the time that this fictional story takes place, and he was 11 working on 12 years old in 1898. So he's already in number 4. We're working on issue 5 right now, and I've already written him in. He's already made another appearance.
Nice.
And he's going to pop in for a little bit in number 5, and then he is going to be in the final scenes where everything comes together in
Very
issue
cool.
6 at the end of the trade, and he plays a part in that in the showdown, and it's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, no, the storyline's going great. We've really enjoyed reading it and going along with, man. So yeah, just keep going down that path. I love that it's historical too, because it really gives it's just a great story to go back in that. It's so unique in what it's doing. So man, you're rocking it on that end, bro. And the cameos are awesome. You run into them, you go, oh yeah, that makes total sense that would be there. So you left one out, by the way. You left out a cameo. Can I tell it? With Dr. Shock?
Well, Dr.
The lab
Shock.
that he comes from.
Oh, duh.
That's kind of a big one, yeah.
See, I was focused on people from Indian territory.
Yeah.
I was focused on that, and I wasn't even thinking about it. But yes,
you have a whole cameo with Nikola Tesla, right?
Nikola Tesla. That's where the story opens.
Nicholas,
issue
right?
4
Tesla?
opens in Nikola Tesla's lab in 1895. 3 years before our story takes place. And it's the origin of Dr. Shock and how he came to be. And thanks for reminding me of that. I was focused on the Indian Territory dudes rather than.
All right, James,
Nikola.
Tell everyone where they can follow you at and where they can keep up with the Bobcat.
Yeah.
Wrap up.
Yeah, I should have made a link for our Kickstarter. The issue 5 Kickstarter, the Bobcat issue 5. It's live right now. It's going to be live until the end of next week.
Nice.
And we've already made our goal, which is awesome, but we're trying to push it up there to get to the stretch goals so that everybody can get some extra free swag, because we've done so well. So check it out. You can just type in the Bobcat on Kickstarter. If you're familiar with Kickstarter, you'll know how to find it in 2 seconds. So that's going on. To find out more about the Bobcat, the entire saga and everything in and of itself, thebobcat.net. Thebobcat.net. That's our website.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we have a Bobcat page, the Bobcat on Facebook. And then my page, James Hostler, of course, links to it. It's tied in with it. But you can follow me and follow the Bobcat page on Facebook.
Very cool. Very cool. And you can follow me on Instagram at Nerd Pastor Swag. And on there, I'm posting all the collectible stuff that I'm into, things I'm picking up, things I'm selling, and just kind of a fun place to come up with some more information. If you're looking to dive deeper into your collection, just get in there, see what else is available. It's a lot of fun, and it's just fun to show off what we find when we're out, just killing long boxes and digging through bins, and even the dollar bin has some great stuff every now and then. So it's fun to be out there and hit it. So So man, it's been fun.
Yes, it's been awesome, and we'll continue to do this.
Yeah.
And I think this was a great start. I mean, I think we really killed it for the first round, honestly.
I love it, man.
So I'm very happy with it.
What do you say we do it again?
Absolutely. We got a lot more planned.
And we got some other cool announcements coming up. We've got great partnerships that we've lined up with that'll be coming out here pretty quick. There's a project that I'm about to launch that's going to be very cool, comic book related. And there's so much more going to be happening. And in the comments, what I would suggest is leave comments on maybe storylines you're interested in. Tell us who you're following. What do you like to read? And if you're an independent comic book artist, let us know what you're doing. We'd love to hear about your stories, man. We want to promote independent comic books. We want those good stories out there too, not just God Corp. We want the independent guys to be out there. And so read those stories. They're so unique. They're not just redoing the same thing. They're not just stealing someone else's character and making them different. They're actually coming up with brand new, amazing stories to go along with. So, and we'll talk about that, I'm sure, at some point when you take a known character and steal him.
Yes, you can count on that.
Or it's like, but for now, we're going to go ahead and sign off before we start a fight and leave it in the comments. What are you reading? What are you reading? Next time we get on, I'll make sure I'll show you some comic books that we're reading. We'll share some comic books we're reading. And I'm pretty excited about some things coming up, guys. So, hey, have a great day.
Thanks a lot, guys. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Bye-bye.